in the heart of the small, forgotten town of Raven Shadow. A dilapidated mansion stood as a testament to a bygone era. The once grand structure, known as Blackthorn Manor, had long been abandoned, its windows shattered and its walls weathered by time. Locals spoke in hushed tones about the ominous history that clung to the decaying walls like a curse. Legend had it that the mansion was cursed and the spirits of its former residents lingered within. Twisted and malevolent, the Blackthorn family, who once inhabited the manor, were said to have been practitioners of dark arts, dabbling in forbidden rituals that bound their souls to the ethereal plane. The townsfolk whispered of vile ghosts trapped between worlds, seeking revenge on the living. As the moon hung low in the sky one fateful night, a group of adventurous friends decided to unravel the mysteries of Blackthorn Manor. Drawn by a combination of morbid curiosity and the thrill of the unknown, they approached the mansion cautiously, the creaking gates protesting their intrusion. The air within the manor was thick with an otherworldly chill, and shadows danced eerily across the walls as the friends explored the desolate halls. Dust-covered furniture stood frozen in time, as if waiting for the return of long-gone occupants. The group ventured deeper, guided only by the flickering light of their trembling flashlights. Whispers echoed through the corridors, carrying ghostly promises of revenge and suffering. Unseen hands seemed to brush against the intruder's skin, sending shivers down their spines. As they ascended the grand staircase, the temperature dropped further, and the air grew oppressive. In a forgotten chamber at the top of the stairs, the group discovered a room adorned with tattered drapes and a long-forgotten portrait of the Blackthorn family. The faces in the paintings seemed to shift, their eyes following the intruders with a malevolent gaze. Unfazed, one of the friends, a skeptic named Alex, scoffed at the superstitions, dismissing them as mere fantasies. As the clock struck midnight, a distant wail echoed through the manor, freezing the blood in their veins. The group huddled together, fear etched across their faces, as the vile ghosts seemed to materialize before them. Shadowy figures twisted and contorted, their anguished moans filling the air. Unearthly lights flickered, casting ghastly silhouettes on the walls. Suddenly, a spectral figure, clad in a tattered black gown, emerged from the darkness. The ghostly woman, identified by the torn remnants of a once elegant dress, beckoned to the intruders with spectral hands. Her eyes glowed with an otherworldly malevolence, and her voice echoed through the chamber, recounting a tale of betrayal and tragedy. The friends, now paralyzed by fear, watched as the ghostly figure pointed accusingly at Alex, her ethereal eyes locking onto his soul. The temperature plummeted, and an invisible force gripped him, rendering him powerless. The ghostly woman's voice grew louder, recounting the sins of Alex's ancestors, the ones who had wronged the Blackthorn family. Suddenly, the room quaked with an otherworldly force. The walls seemed to bleed shadows as the spirits of the Blackthorns manifested. In their most grotesque forms, the friends, now ensnared by the spectral force, could only watch in horror as the vengeful spirits closed in on them. The tale of Blackthorn Manor had only just begun, and the spirits, fueled by centuries of resentment, were determined to exact their revenge on those who dared to disturb their eternal slumber. The friends' fate hung in the balance, and the sinister forces that lurked within the cursed mansion prepared to unleash a darkness that would envelop Raven Shadow in a never-ending nightmare. The friends, paralyzed by fear and surrounded by the vengeful spirits, felt an invisible force pulling them deeper into the heart of Blackthorn Manor. The spectral figures whispered ancient incantations, and the air crackled with malevolent energy. As the group descended into the bowels of the mansion, the darkness seemed to close in around them, swallowing their terrified cries. In a hidden chamber, adorned with faded tapestries and flickering candles that danced with an otherworldly flame. The friends found themselves in the presence of an ancient altar. Symbols etched in blood adorned the stone surface, and a palpable aura of malevolence enveloped the room. The ghostly woman, her eyes ablaze with an otherworldly fury, gestured towards the altar, compelling the intruders to approach. As they hesitated, torn between the urge to flee and an inexplicable compulsion to stay, the room echoed with a chorus of anguished whispers. The spirits recounted the tragic tale of the Blackthorn family, revealing a history of treachery, dark pacts, and forbidden rituals that bound their souls to the mansion. The group learned that the curse that plagued Blackthorn Manor was a consequence of a blood oath, a pact with the supernatural that demanded retribution for the sins committed against the family. With each revelation, the spectral energy within the chamber intensified, and the friends could feel the weight of the curse pressing upon them. The ghostly figures, now a legion of tormented souls, chanted an ancient lament, casting an ethereal net around the intruders. The altar pulsed with dark energy, its ominous glow intensifying as the friends became unwitting participants in a ritual older than time itself. Suddenly, the air crackled with energy, and the room plunged into darkness. The friends, now engulfed in an inky void, felt a profound shift in the very fabric of reality. As they struggled to make sense of their surroundings, whispers echoed from the shadows, revealing that the curse had transcended the boundaries of the mansion. Raven Shadow, it seemed, was irrevocably entwined with the malevolent forces that resided within Blackthorn Manor. The friends, still trapped within the spectral realm, realized that they had become unwitting pawns in a game that spanned centuries. The ghostly figures, now silent, watched with hollow eyes as the intruders grappled with the realization that their actions had set in motion a chain of events that threatened to consume not only their lives but the very soul of Raven Shadow itself. As the spectral energy coalesced, the friends found themselves transported back to the physical realm. The once decrepit mansion now pulsed with an unholy vitality, its walls seeming to breathe with a malevolent intent. The ghostly figures, having completed their ritual, retreated into the shadows, leaving the friends alone in the haunted halls of Blackthorn Manor. The curse, however, lingered like a malignant presence, and the town of Raven Shadow teetered on the precipice of an impending darkness. The friends, marked by their ethereal encounter, felt the weight of a responsibility they never sought. Unbeknownst to them, the tale of Blackthorn Manor had only just begun, and the forces that lay dormant within its walls were poised to unleash a darkness that would test the limits of their sanity and resilience. As the friends grappled with the aftermath of their harrowing encounter, the town of Raven Shadow held its breath, unaware of the malevolent storm that loomed on the horizon. The vile ghosts, having tasted the bitter sweetness of revenge, prepared to unleash a nightmare that would shroud the once quiet town in an eternal darkness. The stage was set, and an intrigue of Blackthorn Manor's curse continued to unfold. A sinister tale with consequences that reached far beyond the crumbling walls of the haunted mansion. In the days that followed the friends' encounter with the spirits of Blackthorn Manor, Raven Shadow descended into an eerie quietude. The air hung heavy with an oppressive stillness, and the once vibrant town square became a ghostly echo of its former self. Residents, sensing an unseen menace, shuttered their windows and whispered fearful prayers into the night. As the friends attempted to unravel the mysteries of the curse they had unwittingly unleashed, an unexpected visitor arrived in Raven Shadow. A hooded figure, shrouded in a cloak of shadows, emerged from the mist, its face obscured by darkness. The townsfolk, their curiosity piqued, watched with trepidation as the mysterious figure approached the friends. In a voice that resonated with an otherworldly authority, The hooded stranger revealed the truth behind the curse. Blackthorn Manor, it turned out, was a mere vessel for a primordial force that predated the town itself. The curse, a manifestation of ancient malevolence, had been contained within the mansion for centuries. Its power harnessed by the Blackthorn family through forbidden rites. The hooded figure explained that the friends had inadvertently disrupted the delicate balance that kept the malevolent force confined. Now, the curse sought to reclaim its lost dominion, and Raven Shadow stood on the brink of annihilation. The friends, burdened by the weight of their actions, were given a choice: to succumb to the darkness or to undertake a perilous quest to break the curse. With no other option, the friends embarked on a journey that took them beyond the boundaries of Raven Shadow. Guided by cryptic clues and ancient maps, they traversed treacherous landscapes, encountering spectral guardians and facing trials that tested the limits of their resolve. The curse, relentless in its pursuit, seemed to seep into the very fabric of reality, distorting time and space. As they reached the culmination of their quest, the friends stood before an ancient altar, similar to the one they had encountered in Blackthorn Manor. The hooded figure, revealed to be a guardian of the curse's origins, watched with stoic detachment. In a climactic moment, the friends made a sacrifice that defied the very essence of the curse, an act of selflessness that resonated with the ancient force. As the sacrifice unfolded, the air trembled with an ethereal energy. The curse, momentarily weakened, recoiled, its malevolence dissipating into the void. The hooded figure nodded in acknowledgement, disappearing into the shadows. The friends, exhausted and changed by their harrowing journey, returned to Raven Shadow. Yet, the unexpected twist awaited them. As they entered the town, they found it transformed, not into a place of desolation, but into a haven of ethereal beauty. The curse, having been broken, had not brought about destruction, but rather a surreal metamorphosis. The once dilapidated Blackthorn Manor now stood as a beacon of spectral radiance, its walls adorned with ethereal lights. Raven Shadow, once on the precipice of doom, had become a nexus between the earthly realm and the supernatural. The townsfolk, no longer bound by fear, embraced the mystical transformation with a sense of wonder. The friends, now regarded as both saviors and strangers, realized that the unexpected ending to their tale was not a conclusion but a new beginning. As they contemplated the surreal beauty that had emerged from the depths of the curse, the friends understood that the line between malevolence and benevolence was often thin and ambiguous. The town of Raven Shadow, now forever touched by the ethereal, held the secrets of a world that existed beyond mortal comprehension. The unexpected twist had turned a tale of horror into a saga of enchantment, leaving the friends to navigate the mysteries of their transformed reality. And so, Raven Shadow stood as a testament to the unpredictable nature of the supernatural, a town forever changed by the interplay between the living and the spectral. The unexpected ending had woven a tapestry of wonder and uncertainty, leaving the friends to grapple with the paradoxical nature of the curse they had broken. As the town embraced its newfound mystical identity, the friends realized that the tale of Blackthorn Manor had not ended but had evolved into a story that transcended the boundaries of time and perception.